We released our new social media strategy and idea generator in February of 2025, just in case you're watching this in like the very way future. And I am so stoked about how excited everyone is about it. I mean, seriously, more people than ever hit reply on that new feature email, and it was so much fun to read all of those notes. But because this is a new feature, I want to make sure that you know how to make the most of it. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Because social media is that marketing channel that we feel a lot of pressure about for a whole host of reasons. And I know that you want to be confident that you're not just posting to post, because that's a waste of time. And I also know that you need the energy that you put into social media to actually help your bottom line. So let's talk about how to do that with your new social media strategy and idea generator. So I'm here in a marketing strategy, and I'm going to click into a social media channel because this is where you'll find your social media strategy. Now, the reason that we created this is because as a marketing consultant, you guys ask me very specific questions that you don't know this, but I know this because everybody asks me the same questions. And when it comes to social media, these are the big three. Taylor, what platforms should I be on? Taylor, how often should I be posting? Taylor, what should I be posting? And so we baked all of the answers to those questions into this new social media strategy. So you don't have to do anything extra. We used the questions in the marketing strategy questionnaire and your answers to them to create your channel strategy. And so what you see up here at the top is the recommendations on the platforms. Now, this is really based on your customers and who you told us you want to work with the most and who they are as people. But so we've made these recommendations, but you can certainly add more channels. You can delete channels if you want, right? You can make this your own. And that is part of making the most of this, right? Because Enji is always going to do its best job at giving you somewhere to start from. But if you want to make adjustments to it, absolutely please do. So the first thing is the Taylor, what platform should I be on? This is where you're going to find that. Now, let's say the answer to the second question is, Taylor, how often should I be posting? Now, Enji also is making recommendations on or for that question, and that is really based on the answer that you gave us to the question, how much time do you have to work on your marketing? And if you told us that you only have 1 or 2 hours, you're probably going to see just 1 post a week per platform. If you told us more like 3 or 4, you're going to see 2. And if you told us 5 or more, you'll see 4. But again, you can come in here and you can make the most of this channel by changing the cadence. So let's say for this, I just want to post once a week on Facebook. And actually, you know what? I kind of want to work TikTok in here. And yeah, let's stick it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Instagram, I want to do a little bit extra too, right? So the reason that I want you to go in and make sure that you either agree with the pacing that Enji recommended or you make some adjustments to it is because this is all tied into what I call a fast action button, which I'm going to show you last. So there's that part. Now, the third question that people ask me is the what should I post question? And so that's why we built an AI idea generator. Now, what Enji is using to generate these ideas is a summary of your business. So whether you gave us your website URL when you created your account, or we asked you for it at a later time, Enji now has this information about your business because we went and like scraped your website so that we have this information in the back end that feeds into the AI prompt and how it's working behind the scenes. So all you need to do is hit the generate ideas button, and it's going to give you a list of ideas, and it's going to cycle through your content pillars, right? Because this is one of the places that I know, or one of the things that I know people get stuck on, is they spend too much time creating content on 1 or 2 pillars, and then they're not telling a really well-rounded story with their marketing. Specifically, I see a lot of people really over communicating about education, really over communicating about inspiration, and sometimes really over communicating about sales. So your idea generator is going to give you ideas for all 6 of these pillars, again, so that you can feel more confident that you're not just like going for the jugular with sales, or you're just like sharing inspirational content all the time that's never going to move someone down your funnel. So now that I've talked about the ideas, I want to pop into the tasks, because what we've done is we've created these tasks, we've turned them into smart tasks. And so the way that you can really start to use this to like make the most out of it to save you time is when you click into the task as it's due, and it's not the repeating one for like the future, you'll see this button that says add suggested content to calendar. So this is that fast action button that I was talking about. So you can see that based on your cadence of posting, right, and your routine of how often you're posting, right? So I'm posting every other week. So I've got to post, or I've got to schedule 2 weeks worth of content, and 2 weeks worth of content looks like this, right? So when I go and I click this button, add suggested content to calendar, this is the fastest way to get drafts of these things on your calendar. So I'm going to pop over here. And now what you're going to see down here on the calendar is there's all the stuff that I need to go through and create content for. So it's already mapped out. I didn't have to, like click this button and add more content. It's there already. So the next way for you to make the most out of all of this is to use the ideas to just like quickly get them into the AI copywriter and get that draft done as quickly as possible. So all I need to do is click this the ideas button, and I'm going to say, hey, let's talk about limited offer. I'm offering free audits. And you, again, in the vein of making the most out of it, would add a few more additional details here so that Enji has more context to make the draft as good as it can be. And then maybe you're going to pop over here and you're going to say, hey, I actually want this to be a long post. Please don't use emojis, and write this for Samantha. So I want it to be a little bit more witty and sarcastic. So then I'm just going to hit draft it for me, and then the copywriter is going to do its thing. It's going to write this draft for you. Now, I have said this in other videos, but if you haven't heard it from me, I'm going to repeat it. You always, always, always need to review this. You always, always, always need to make revisions to it so it's not 100% AI written content. But at least now you've got a super solid draft to work on. And then all you need to do is upload your media. If you've got, or when you've got your account connected, you can use the visual planner to make sure things are looking how they want, and then you can quickly get it scheduled to automatically post at the date and time. So the social media channel strategy and idea generator is really going to help you go from I'm just like picking things out of nowhere and creating content and like scheduling it to post on Instagram to no, this is the lane that I'm going to drive my social media in. These are the things that I'm going to talk about. They're relevant to my business. They're broad enough that they're hitting all of the different points in my marketing funnel. And then I can get stuff drafted and scheduled super, super quickly. So let's recap what you should do to get the most out of your new social media strategy and idea generator. Number 1, add or delete the social media platforms that you'll post on. Number 2 is adjust the pacing of how often you post. Number 3 is use the idea generator to create ideas. Number 4 is to start using the fast action button to get drafts on the calendar. And number 5 is to use the AI copywriter to draft captions for you in no time. Now, I promise you that this will save you time and get you into a place where your social media content is telling a better story because you're covering more of your bases. And as always, if you have any questions, just hit us up through the chat bubble because we are always here to help.